Pine's expertise is focused on environmental monitoring, be it air, water, or soil, non-destructive testing, remote visual inspection, continuous emissions monitoring, or the supply of field and safety equipment.
But I'm going to get into the meat and gravies of explaining what the GeoSub Pump 2 is and exactly the controller. So this GeoSub pump is an environmentally fully submersible pump. It's very versatile. With that being said, it's got really rugged construction, makes it really easy and portable to transfer from one location to another. The weight of both of these it's not very much, so you can carry it from site to site with two hands. That being said, the GeoSub submersible pump can do 10 milliliters up to 4 liters per minute. 15 liters per minute and or 4 gallons per minute. Now, what I'm going to show you today is just beyond after I get through some of the specifications here, I'm going to show you how easy it is to set it up. And we actually have a sync set up over here with another camera, and we'll show you the visuals on that. So with that being said, this pump here is 200 feet in length. It is the longest pump that we have here as far as the GeoSub goes. And then with that in respect, we can offer you various sizes. So with that being mentioned, power for this guy is, there's a lot of options, which makes it so portable and great to use. So seeing this AC plug here, your first instinct would be that it only takes AC power. However, if you guys let us know basically on your application or what job you have, we can also help you in the field using an inverter. So you can hook it up to a battery, and or we do offer our own generator, or if you guys have your own generator, just make sure the generators meet spec. So before I set this up in the sink here, I just kind of want to show you guys some of the things you can look for in the submersible pump when you're cleaning it, or let's just say you're decontaminating from one site to another. So I'm going to undo the reel here. It's just a lever. I'll show you on the back side here. You just undo it, so it allows you to move the reel. If you don't do that, you will not be able to move the reel, or it'll be very tough. Okay, so this is the outer housing that we have here on the submersible pump. So to take it off, it's actually really easy. It's just lefty-loosey. Just going to move this stuff out of the way so you guys can see a little bit. Excellent. So there's the outer housing. Now, before I show you the inner housing, what I do want to show you is there's an inlet screen here. Hopefully that's good on the visuals. And then what we can see on the bottom side here is there's actually a snap ring. So cleaning this is actually really easy. All you need is a small flathead screwdriver. Just going to push it out. That's how easy it was. The cap will fall out, just like so. And then that allows us to take the screen out. This is very important because if you guys ever have issues in the field, this is the biggest culprit because this gets jammed up. The flow is not able to get through the actual impeller here, and it makes it much harder for your sample to come up the line. So with that being said, please make sure this is always clean. The water that you guys are sampling should be as clean as possible. Any type of silt and sand will definitely clog the screen, and then even worse, get through the screen and eventually meet the impeller. Now, the impeller is made of like wetted material that's really resistant to chloride and different pH levels and whatnot. But the most important thing is to make sure that the impeller actually moves freely. If you hear any grinding, that means you've already got silt into the impeller here, and you need to try to wash it out, or even using your fingers here and using either DI water or whatever you have available. But essentially, sand in here is not good. So With that being said, when you guys are cleaning the submersible pump, just keep in mind you can use detergent and water. Just make sure all the parts are clean, so obviously the integrity of the sample of the next one isn't contaminated. And then, yeah, that being said, I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to put all this back together, plug this in, and I'm going to put it in my sink, and we're going to go ahead and turn it over. So I'm just going to take the outer housing, put the screen back in, pop it in there. I have my cap, also pop it in there. Snap ring is always better to work from one end to the other, just like so. I got my glove almost stuck in there. Perfect. Too easy. I'm going to thread this boy, or this bad boy, back on here. Just righty-tighty, much as you can go. Just like so. All right, I'm going to open this bad boy back open. I have my AC power available. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are other options you can use. I'm going to use AC power because it's the easiest for me to use at this point. Next, we have the actual power cable that goes from the controller to the pump. So one end is male, which we have here. The other end is female. I'm going to put all my tail of leftover cable inside the case, just keep it nice. And I'm going to put the female end on the other end here. Sorry you guys can't see that well, but I'm sure it's very easy to figure out once you're in the field there. Excellent. So I'm going to be putting the tubing on the end of this barb here. The type of tubing that I have here is poly tubing, but we do offer low density and high density tubing. It's 3/8 by 1/2 inch, so just let us know what you guys prefer in the field. The difference between the two different tubing, the two different sizes of tubing, not sizes, but two different tubing is one is low density, meaning it's more flexible, and the other one is high density, meaning it's much more resistant. All right, so we have the pump in there. Now, one of the things I didn't quite show you here, because I'm just planning on showing you how it actually just operates, but when you guys do put the pump down hole, is you're going to want to make sure you have these pipe clamps. These pipe clamps right here, these are important to keep the tubing attached to the barb without coming loose, especially when you start getting to higher pressures or the deeper it is, a lot more is going to come through the tubing there, so this will help support it. We do try to provide these within our rentals. If you guys ever need to find any or get any more of these, you can just find them at the local hardware shop like Rona. Okay, so back to over here on the controller. The nice thing about the controller is they actually outline the most important parts on the inside of the top casing here. So it literally says basic operation, assembly, and cleaning. So everything that I go over today, all you have to do is open the top of the case and find all your instructions here. On the actual controller itself, it is so easy. There are only 4 arrow keys, just like your keyboard. We got up and down, left and right. So basically, the basic principle of working this guy is the up and down arrow is going to change your flow rate. And I'll get into that because the flow rate works as a range from 0 to 225. Now, we always get asked all the time, what does 225 represent? It's actually just a range. So within the manual, there's actually a performance guide that shows you what flow rates you get at certain head pressure of feet down into the well. Due to the various sizes of the cable and the length of how well or how deep you're going into the well will affect your flow rate. So a lot of people ask me, so how do I figure that out? Well, here at Pine, we do offer you, or not offer you, but we do sell buckets that are marked to liters, and we also have graduated cylinders. So all you need is either one of these and a time clock or your cell phone, and you just need to do the math and figure out what your flow rate is like that. If you don't wish to do that, then you can just follow the performance guide that's in the manual there. It'll tell you exact flow rate, what you should be expecting at those depths. So to start the guide, I mentioned the up and down is literally the flow rate. Going right is going to start the pump, and going left is going to stop the pump. All right, so as I mentioned before, there's only 4 buttons on the unit. So the up and down were indeed to change the flow rate, and then going on the right arrow activates the pump, and then going back on the left arrow deactivates the pump. So instead of just, I guess I could have put it in the sink there, but I was trying to troubleshoot it back on the counter there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it, hitting the right arrow. And there we can see the actual water discharge. The rattle is actually just because it's a plastic surface and stainless steel submersible pump is just rattling against it. But if I wanted to adjust the flow rate, I'm just gonna go on the down arrow, and you can hear it not rattle so much, obviously. And then I'm gonna not actually go the other way because I only have so much water space here, and I don't want to get water on my controller. Even though this is a submersible pump, the controller is not. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys learned quite a bit today. Indeed, if there is any questions about the submersible pumps, I know I kind of went over the picture there, but if you guys have any questions at this time, feel free to answer.